Hey guys, welcome to Flick It Films. This episode's going to be a little bit different, but I hope you like it. Tonight I got a chance to go see the comedy They Came Together. It stars Amy Poehler and Paul Rudd, and I'm just going to do a little quick review about it before we get into the video. I really liked it. It was different. It was something pretty new and refreshing in Hollywood. It was a parody of romantic comedies, basically. Movies like When Harry Met Sally and You've Got Mail. At first it took me a little while to get used to the format of the movie and the style and the comedy. It's really different, but once you get into it and just accept that it's a parody, it's really funny. There are some really good moments. I definitely recommend you guys to check it out. I think you'll like it. It's open in limited release, unfortunately, but tonight I got a chance to go to a screening, and the director was there, David Wain. He's done movies like Wet Hot American Summer, Role Models, and Wanderlust. He did a great Q&A after the movie ended. I thought you guys would enjoy it, so I filmed it. So here it is.
How did you get to where you are tonight?
Fiat. I drove a Fiat. It's a yellow Fiat. When I'm directing Paul Rudd, it's the right amount of awkward. Do I have to turn it up or turn it down? His instincts are pretty awesome. I mean, he gets what's going on and lives in the character fully and committedly, and also knows where the jokes are and knows how to deliver them and give you variations. And so he's certainly very easy to direct. If anything, my job is to just give him other ideas or more thoughts or more things to try or funny lines to do. But he's certainly a pleasure to work with, and he's a great storytelling mind and a great comedic mind without anybody telling him what to do.
What was the budget?
It was like really low.
How many, I guess, would you say, drafts of this script did you go through before reaching this final product?
Well, we actually wrote the movie originally in 2002, right after Michael Schulter and I had done Wet Hot American Summer. Please. Thank you. It was in many ways very different, but I actually just honestly looked at it today out of curiosity, in the movie having finally opened yesterday, and I was surprised how much of that original script actually is in the final movie. Like maybe a big percentage of that script made it into this final movie. But we did do a ton of rewriting and rethinking over the years as we were trying to make it, and it never did get made. And we rewrote it to make it for a much lower budget, and we rewrote it to make it less specifically referential to specific scenes and characters in other movies and make it more its own thing. And to answer your question though, as always, the actors definitely had ideas that we used and contributed, beyond the performances to the film. But it was a very quick process. So it wasn't like we were sitting around riffing all the time or trying to come up with a lot of different alts. We just once we got to shooting, we had to pretty much shoot what we had. And then when we finished the movie, we showed it at a test screening, and a lot of the audiences didn't quite get it or quite key into it, and so we conceived that whole notion of the four people at dinner telling the story much later in the editing process, and that was shot in one day, not long before we finished it, and then sort of we rebuilt the whole movie around that, and it seems to have helped. Yes?
I hear about like a Wet Hot prequel or a Wet Hot maybe Netflix TV show. Is any of that stuff true about
What number question is this for you? The Wet Hot prequel project is definitely in motion. It's in preparation. It's happening. The details are not ready to say yet, but it's going to be great.
Is it a movie or a TV show?
That is something we're going to talk about later when we announce it sometime in the future, not tonight. Thank you. Yes.
Actually, go back to that notion that you shot the movie, then you know.
We shot it, then we edited it. Yeah.
I know. Four people at dinner.
Coppola does that too.
4 people at dinner. You had all that after the movie was actually shot, and you could see that afterwards. That's really amazing, because that was an integral part of it. Really made the movie really enjoyable.
Thank you. I mean, I do feel like it worked really well. We made it. The goal, obviously, as always, is to make sure that it doesn't feel like a Band-Aid or that it was a fix, even though it kind of was. And the way that I did it was after having the movie finished and complete without that device in it, and it was long. It was maybe quite a bit longer than it is now, even without the device. And then I moved on to another project, and we thought about it for a long time, like, what do we do? How do we make this sort of go to the next level? And I ended up spending the whole spring of that year just sitting on a laptop and playing around and writing and conceiving the device with little Photoshop slugs and voices on my computer, and playing that over and over again for myself and for friends, and getting that so it was really tight, and using it to cut out every single thing in the movie that wasn't funny, and also to contextualize everything and to open the movie in a way that explained and spoon-fed to the audience. This is what it is. Don't try to take it on a literal level. And so that when we got finally the chance to shoot it, and we had I think 8 hours to shoot 34 little drop-ins, and by that point, we really knew exactly what we wanted to do, and it really helped.
It was great.
Thank you very much. Oh, yes?
Did you write it for Paul Rudd and Amy?
We did not write it for Paul Rudd and Amy Poehler. At the time when we wrote it, they were both only mid-level stars. And so we waited until they became A-level stars before we even considered them for these roles. Good question. I really only have time for 10 more, so that's...
Joel seems like such a wonderful title. Name for a coffee shop. There's no one out there?
The question was, Cup of Joel is such a good name for a coffee shop. Is there really no one out there? And my answer is, yeah, I mean, no, I guess not. Because they passed through legal. So, amazing. Incredible. Truly incredible. One of the most incredible things about the film.
Did you enjoy shooting in Park Slope?
Yes, what did we do in Park Slope? Did you recognize Park Slope?
Yeah, because I remember seeing you guys. I lived down the street. I think you guys shot.
Oh. Well, we shot, I would say 85% of it in 3-4 blocks in Cobble Hill in Brooklyn. And then we shot a couple outliers in Park Slope, and then further out in another part of Brooklyn, which I can't remember. And then we did not have the money to shoot in Manhattan, which is ironic. Manhattan is almost like another code. But shooting in Brooklyn was incredible. It's a wonderful place to shoot because everyone's really nice, and you could always know that you're not far from very good shade-grown fair trade coffee. Brooklyn is like New York. It's part of New York. For those of you, like the Silver Lake of New York.
What do you think of LA as a character?
Sorry?
What do you think of LA as a character?
Oh, LA is a character. Yeah, I mean, that could be something else. That could be for another movie. I think LA is like its own character. Yes.
During the scene at the bar where Paul Rudd, says you can say that again, and
Don't.
that
Just kidding, of course.
was that? Did you keep reshooting that, or did you just cut and keep repeating that?
The bartender scene is a loop of the same footage. Yes. Absolutely correct.
When you were writing it, did you anticipate the pacing to be that quick, or?
Not quite, actually. It was definitely, when we cut it to the script the way it was a lot slower. Even though my general taste is to go fairly quick, it sort of evolved over time into the slightly more machine gun pace that it is now. We realized the more time we were away from our original conception, the more we realized how little it matters, anything but the jokes. And so anything that was left in for plot reasons or character reasons that wasn't funny also.
The crazy sex scene, were those wrestlers or acro yoga?
Those were, the crazy sex scene was an acrobatic, sensual dance troupe called Pilabolus that I used to love over the years. Yeah, Pilabolus.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I was always into Pilabolus when they came to New York, and I actually saw them in Cleveland where I grew up. And I just we were thinking about what to do with that scene. I'm like, I happen to know this troupe that they're specialized in like naked, like sexual, acrobatic. Did you say something about a ball sack? Oh yeah. So we called them up and said, do you happen to have a troupe member that looks a little like Paul Rudd and one that looks a little like Kobe Smulders? And they're like, yes, and they're married to each other. And so they came down and did that for us, and just they had planned out all these moves, and they kept going on and on. I was like blown away. We're like, I can't believe what's going on here. This is insane. And finally, we're like, okay, that's incredible, you guys. Thank you so much. And they're like, oh no, we have so much more to do. And we're like, well, we gotta stop at some point. It's kind of crazy and great.
How much of the candy in her candy shop was actual candy?
You do not have to come up with funny questions. Just kidding. I know. Now we're just having fun. Now we're just having a good time together. This is because I think you're great, and I would never screw around with you if I didn't think you were great. The answer is, I think all of it was real, although we brought in some of it. But the truth is, the only reason she worked in a candy shop is because when we were location scouting, we saw this candy shop and thought it would be a good place to shoot, and then we changed the story to make her owning a candy shop. Because that's how you do it when you have no money.
This is not a funny question. Do you fear death?
Wait, weren't you in the movie? You were the older sister.
I was the bitter older sister.
The bitter older sister. Great job. That's I used to fear death a lot more, but now that I, have come to really be grounded in my life to today, I'm not so focused on what to be in the future. Were there any injuries with the ass pole? Actually, yeah. Well, the tape that we used of the ass pole, it wasn't an injury, but the woman was really traumatized, and I think that I think maybe he did get hit a little bit. Yeah, it wasn't the kind of thing that anyone would do. Like, it was not a good thing. Like, this extra was like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Like, but we gotta move on. Well, it was a pole sticking out, and then it was sewed into the pants, and then there was like a cable from the top down to here, which we erased. It's pretty cool, and it's really incredible. Some of the stuff we did. Okay, last question. Wait, somebody who hasn't asked one.
So when it's all said and done, do you prefer the spoon-fed edition with the table stuff, or do you have powerful?
Oh, so much. I never let. By the way, the studio never told us to do anything ever at any point, which was great. And so everything in the movie, for better or for worse, this is the director's cut. This is exactly. They never had a single note. So this is exactly what I'd hoped to do. I had to beg to get the money to shoot that one table scene, and then finally, once I was able to do that, I'm very happy with this. And if you hate it, I totally respect it. Thank you guys so much. It's a small operation here, so if you liked it and you are so inclined, please spread the word. And thank you so much for coming. Have a great night.